shut up, you listen to my monkey mouth. There's a companion when you got pun on the canoa route. Hopped in a portal and got in a fight, Elias knocked him out. Bow, Naruto fighting style. Bow, UFC he tapped out. Bow, we win, we get crowned. Monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth.
All right, man. Welcome to SUYL. Let's have you introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Jesse Paul. Jesse James Paul.
Jesse James Paul. So, where can they find you, Jesse James?
I'm on Facebook.
Yeah.
Jesse James Paul.
Jesse
I'm
James
on Instagram, Mr. Mellow.
Mr. Mellow.
M-R Mellow.
So, I caught you first at the Black Sparrow, and like you were like the guy. I think I immediately should like beeline to you because, like I said, it was like my favorite joke. It was the one that. I mean, if you don't feel like selling the joke, it's fine. I mean, if you do, it's whatever. I mean, I don't want you to feel like you have to do your type 5 here. Yeah, dance monkey. I don't feel like you have to do your type 5 here, but nonetheless, man, like I met you at the Black Sparrow with I guess it was not Ozzy. What's Tracy P in the gang? So like Tracy P brought you up there, and I immediately thought like you were one of the standouts of the crew.
Where is Black Sparrow? Is that here in?
Yeah, it's the Greenhouse Cafe in Black Sparrow. It was across the street from the Texas Beer Company.
Okay.
The pecan.
Beer.
Yeah, it's Tyler, Texas. Tyler, Texas. Dude, they
Tim.
gave you some. I don't know if it was you, but they gave.
Some shit,
yeah, they gave you some shit for that.
It was me.
That Tyler remark. But that one woman, man, I can't think of her name. I won't say her name out loud. Dude, she was insufferable. But I'm sure you get that a lot.
It's whatever. I did the same thing tonight.
Yeah.
I was at bar in Round Rock tonight, and I was like, "Hey, Austin, Texas." And they're like, "We're Round Rock."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Taylor
it's all Austin.
Taylor has a strange pride. Like I remember I was like at a church function. I think it was like the pumpkin patch, at a church function with my nephews and my sister, and like this one woman is like giving this person grief because they're like new to the town, and she's like, "Well, you're not officially a duck. Once a duck, always a duck." And I like chimed in with my 2 cents, and I'm like, "Do you live in Taylor?" And that person was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, then you're a duck. Like, don't let this is a church function. I don't think that there needs to be a Bloods and Crips feud inside the church function while picking out a nice pumpkin for your family."
So we're in Taylor now.
Yeah,
not
so
Tyler.
Taylor,
Right.
yeah, so
Right.
yeah, and they were giving you so much grief for that Tyler, Texas, but
Yeah.
it was all in good
Really
fun.
matter.
It really, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it does matter. All right, this is Taylor Ducks.
Okay,
I'm just
matters. Okay.
I'm just kidding, man.
Got it.
It's like I think if you like go to Granger and Bartlett, maybe they'd be a little bit more sourpussed about it. Like if you were like in
if you go to Granger and you're like Corpus Christi, all right.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
It's like that just needs to be your shtick from now on. You're just gonna be
kind of what I've been
just
doing,
go just
actually.
kind of just
Yeah,
like
I just mess
remark,
up the town
just
name
mess
on
up
purpose.
the town name, and introduce the guy. Hi, what's your name? He just gives it to you immediately. Change his name. Yeah. Don't let anybody feel like you. It's like that one guy who says like I if I've got I think it was Parks and Recreation. He goes, if I've known you longer than two years, I immediately say your wrong name just so that they don't think that we're getting too close.
Yeah. Is that Ron Swanson?
Yeah, Ron Swanson. Yeah, Ron Swanson's like just to show dominance, I say the wrong name.
I'm definitely calling you the wrong name.
Yeah,
So you don't get too close.
just to.
It's a good idea.
It's a genius idea. It also came from another movie. I think it was like Love and Other Drugs, where he's like, "Hey Tiffany," and he like just walks by and like waves, and he does it like 4 times, and then he's like, by the 5th time she'll come up to me and be like, "Why do you keep calling me that?" And then it strikes up a conversation.
Good plan.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely manipulative in a very interesting way. So
I think I could deal with that. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
So we introduced this podcast as like there's two like we're under the umbrella of Monkey Mouth, which kind of stemmed from us doing a really like bloated version of like what we first started out with, which we were gonna do, which we still do. It's called the Portal Boys, and it's a Rick and Morty podcast. Right. But we was like super bloated. We were gonna do Invincible, Rick and Morty, and then like a third show that like introduces, like it comes in like one of us picking a show that we're watching and we talk about it. And we did about a good like couple of episodes. I think we did like 1 episode of that, and it was so bloated it became obnoxious, and we were just like started talking just about Rick and Morty, and then we kind of cut it down to that. and now we have The Ones Who Woke Up, which is basically the blue pill. I'm assuming I might be getting that wrong. So that's the blue pill. It's psychedelic in nature. It's run by my business partner Josh, and then you have the red pill, where we stay in the matrix and we talk about matrixy, zeitgeisty stuff. Which
is the red pill staying in the matrix?
I always thought the red pill was staying in the matrix, but I might be mistaken because
I don't know. It's been
it's been way too long. So, yeah, I mean, there's a new one out with like Doogie Howser.
I know that everybody keeps saying a red pill lately. Like red pill is the kind of waking up.
Is that what it is? So like, I just know red pill as being like a MGTOW kind of douchebag who hates women. I just know that. It's
that's
like,
me. Yeah,
yeah, that's nice to meet you, Mr.
Kidding,
Red Pill.
no, just kidding. I love women.
Yeah, it's like everybody who and I swear he lives rent free in my head, and Josh just kind of made me come to admittance of it. But like Andrew Tate gets brought up so much because he just won't leave the zeitgeist, and like so now he lives like rent free in my head about like he's basically like the new poster boy. Like I'm 35, so I remember like the like HBO guys who would be like incelly losers, and this guy would come out with like a hat that was like made of like feathers and like a jacket, and he would basically make them like peacock and like talk shit about women. I don't know if you remember that, but like.
Well, I mean, I'm 40, so I should remember it.
Yeah.
But I was not like I was sheltered.
Yeah, you were sheltered.
Oh, I was not allowed to
were you were the one where I was remarking about the LDS, and you actually knew way more about the LDS,
yeah.
And I was talking out of my ass about it, but
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and because like I have like this like weird kind of like what would you say, like kind of morbid curiosity about like the LDS and Jim Jones, which wasn't exactly a part of the LDS.
I don't think
he was
yeah, a completely different thing.
Yeah, but he definitely went in the
it's in the same cult.
Yeah,
faction.
exactly, the same cult faction.
It's
Yeah,
not LDS.
It's not LDS, but like LDS was like the LDS documentary that
LDS
they just
is Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, I didn't want people to like. Yeah, they know they know what we're talking about. Like
they
if
don't.
They don't. Oh, okay.
Well, you didn't either.
Well, I knew the LDS was the Latter-day Saints.
But
I just was
like the FLDS.
Yeah,
too,
that's
which is the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints.
Yeah,
and that's like a different thing.
That's like the verses like Judaism versus the Judaism that's like. With them
there's
where,
like Hasidic
thank
Jews,
you, Hasidic Jews, yeah.
There's like Orthodox Jews, and there's all that.
Even Catholics have their factions. They have like Roman Catholic.
So, there's the LDS, which is the Latter-day Saints, and then there's the FLDS, which is the Fundamentalist Latter-day Saints, and those are the ones that actually still do polygamy.
Yeah. Did you ever catch that like really wild Like I don't really care for Vice. Vice 20 years ago, 15 years ago was like on top of the world. Vice now is just talking about like weird articles about how to like
We used to have some really provocative.
Oh, dude, man, Shane Smith was like the man back in the day.
And then they just turned into some.
It was weird. It was strange. They definitely they have some strange stuff like if you have AIDS, how to tell your partner. I'm like, honestly, you should just tell your partner, bro. Like, don't dance around it.
Man, I got AIDS. No, I have to keep wearing this condom.
Yeah, there was like another one that was like how to have sex without making it awkward, and I just put a GIF, like I put like a GIF that was like you can't, and it's just like you can't, like. But yeah, they died like years ago.
How to make sex not awkward?
Be an adult. Yeah, exactly.
Just fucking, it's gonna be awkward a little bit, so just
go with it, man. Let it be awkward. Yeah. But so they did a great like short documentary about the LDS or maybe the FLDS in Mexico, because Rick Perry, is it Rick Perry? No, Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney's parents or family still live, like his like ancestry is in Mexico.
Yes,
and there was two families, two brothers.
I don't know the whole history about that shit. And I don't really
care to know.
Yeah, I didn't look up, and Google Mitt Romney's ancestry or genealogy. Yeah. But what I do know is that, like, when the Mormons were in Utah, and the United States government is like knocking at the door saying, we're not going to allow polygamy in the United States, and we're going to make Utah a state. Mm-hmm. they were like, oh, well, actually, God just told us that we don't have to do polygamy anymore.
Yeah.
Very conveniently.
It
definitely wasn't the U.S. military knocking on the door saying we're going to fucking eradicate the Mormons.
It was a magic stone in a seer's hat.
Something like that.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
But so there was some. I mean, like I said, man, I talk out of my ass about stuff that I don't know, which
so
is
anyways,
just like.
I mean, do you want me to go into the whole history?
You don't have to. No, I think it's just interesting nonetheless. Like, I find
know a lot of people don't understand it and they get it very confused. And it used to bother me a lot more because I was more.
Yeah. So now it's just like let the guy be a.
By the way, LDS is Mormon.
Yeah. Because I think I was talking about them not like their own planets and whatnot. Like I don't want to get super into it, but it's just like
we don't have to get super into it.
But it was definitely funny because like I met someone who actually knew what I was talking about and my rudimentary like surface understanding of it.
Like you're full of shit.
Yeah,
you know what you're saying.
And I was like,
I know because I was raised it.
And I was like, well, do tell me more. I like to be called out on this because I want to know more because I'm a weirdo who likes.
Well, quick history then. So Joseph Smith, the founder of Mormonism, started off in New York, and people wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, you can't. No.
Yeah.
We're not going to put up with this. And then so they moved the church to Ohio, and the people there were like, no, man, we're not going to put up with this, and so we're going to kill you. And so they moved the church to Missouri, and they were like, no, man, we don't like this shit. Get the fuck out of here. So they moved to Illinois. And then when they were in Illinois,
they were like,
we
can get down with this.
Nauvoo City was Nauvoo, Illinois. It was bigger than Chicago at one point.
Yeah.
It was like the most populated city in Illinois.
It was like corn.
And it was only Mormons.
Corn and LDS? I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Just like corn everywhere and some LDS learning.
I guess. Corn? What do you...
Illinois is like the corn capital of the world, man.
I thought that was Nebraska, the corn huskers.
Oh, like, man, I don't know. I grew up in Illinois and there was fucking corn everywhere, man.
Well, I mean,
there was a corn festival.
There is corn everywhere.
I know, yeah, exactly. That's true. But like when I was growing up, like back in the day, like they literally had a thing called the Corn Festival in Illinois. Like, yeah.
So anyways, in Nauvoo, Illinois, it's right on the Mississippi River, and it turned into one of the biggest cities in there, and they had, like, a lot of power that was, you know... so
influential, like political powers.
Yeah, Joseph Smith was actually a candidate for president.
That's wild, man.
Yeah. So then, anyways, they got him out of there, too. They're like, get the fuck out of here.
Tarred and feathered them out.
So they were like, all right, we're going to go all the way over to Utah or whatever... So we just get left alone because everyone was killing them.
Yeah.
And, you know, mobs were attacking them and stuff, you know. And,
that's wild,
killing
man.
people. And freedom of religion in this country, but...
Yeah, and freedom of religion to a point.
To a point, they thought they were, you know, pretty crazy. So they drove them out of the country.
Yeah, free to be Christian.
Yeah,
that's about it.
They drove them out of the country. And so they went all the way to Utah. And they practice their polygamy and stuff like that in Utah.
I love how that like there's a weird kind of like horseshoe effect where it's just like, you know, they'll tell you how to act, or there'll be people out there, the royal we, who will tell you how to act, not to have like polygamy, but then they'll come up with a workaround and they'll call it what is the new thing where it's just like polyamory. It's like, oh yeah. So like you can't have like a wife, bro. But like this is like
you can have several girlfriends.
You can have several girlfriends. Like so, like it's like whatever. Like we don't.
I always feel like I was born at the wrong time. You know, because like if I would have been born, you know, in the 1800s when they were like doing polygamy, I kind of think I would have been like, yeah, Joseph Smith, dude, you're the shit, man. Like,
He's got this down.
How many wives can I have? If you're a good follower, then he'll give you more wives. Yeah, I don't know. I can't even find one. like, shit, man, I need one at least. If I would have been born back then, maybe I could have been like, Joseph, dude, we're bros, right? Hook me up. I don't know.
But so when I got to see you do your stand-up act and the Black Sparrow, which they like basically roasted you for calling it Tyler. Then we ended up circling back around and I caught you at the hookah lounge, and that's when we got to talking. And we got to talking about. Well, we didn't really get to talk about polygamy, but we got to like kind of working around it. Yeah, and it was really awesome because, like I said, I'm a weirdo who likes culty kind of shit. Did you ever get into like the side of it with like Jim Jones? Did you ever follow any of that stuff?
Well, I mean, I know who Jim Jones is.
Yeah, so
followed.
Not followed it.
Yeah, it's not
like following. No. I'm not.
Jim Jones was the one that went down to like South
America.
America.
Yeah, I'm not talking about like following it. Did you ever like learn anything about it? Did you ever
he's
get
the guy
into
who went down to South America and made everyone drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, so it was actually a mass murder, not a mass suicide, right? Yeah, because like half of those people didn't take it willingly, and they were injected in by the mouth. One thing that I will tell you, I don't know how true it is, but I watched the documentary on Netflix about Mormonism, and it really made me grow a huge disdain for Oprah Winfrey because like she goes in there and she basically takes the side of she's like me. She goes in there and she decides that she knows what she's talking about and kind of like misses a huge oversight on basically like what the LDS was, what the fundamentalists, the FLDS was basically hiding in the church, and was just like these poor women, this poor that, and it really made me like, honestly, I have quite a disdain for Oprah Winfrey, CNN, which CNN doesn't really matter anymore, but like the way that they handled the whole situation, they just went into it without any investigation and just kind of like didn't,
like preconceived judgments and everything.
Yeah, but on the opposite side, it seemed like they took the side of the church and weren't willing to listen to these people who were actually affected very negatively.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it was like taking the side of the church, and like these poor women are getting their children taken away from them, and they're not, and some of these women weren't even the mother of these children. They were just kind of
like after the whole government came in and looted the town and like.
This was
not looted, but
essentially tore down the FLDS and
which good. I mean, there was a lot of child abuse.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But she took
she took the side of the church.
Yeah, because she didn't.
Like, well, those are their beliefs.
Well, not just that though. She didn't quite get it yet. A large scale of the abuse hadn't come out, so she wasn't willing to do her due diligence, and it seemed like she took a lot of the sides of the she was on the wrong side of history at that point, and it just like it made, like I said, it made me have a real bad like taste in my mouth whenever I was thinking about like how like quick she was to take the side of I mean, but she's never been on the right side of history. I mean, she was like big friends with that big fat fuck that was like molesting those women. Can't think of his name, Harvey Weinstein. Like she's literally like hugging Harvey Weinstein.
Like Jared from
yeah, she was best friend. Yeah, and so like she was like friends with that guy. So like she honestly does like, I don't know. She goes where the money is, right? Who gives a fuck? Like she's a piece of shit.
I don't pay too much attention to Oprah. So, but I didn't see the documentary.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man.
I mean,
in that case, like, why would you want to? Like, I mean, if you grew up in it, it's like, honestly, it's like it's like I imagine it's like being force-fed pizza, and then like you get a pizza party thrown for you at work, and everybody's like, why don't you want to eat the pizza? I've had enough. Like, you sure you don't want to have some pizza? I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, the whole FLDS and LDS thing, it is, I don't know, people still have the wrong idea I guess, about Mormons. They don't realize that the polygamy stopped in the 1870s.
I think that it's...
But that one little offshoot of them kept going until the modern days. Like, what was that documentary, like, 15 years ago?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah, it happened, during my lifetime.
Yeah.
Where they... And that was a town in Texas, too, right?
Yeah, there was...
they raided that town in Texas.
That was Waco.
No.
Oh, no, is that a different one?
No, this is a different FLDS compound that they had moved out to West Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they were doing all the whole polygamy child bride stuff.
That is so wild,
that's the one that the government went in and...
Oh, is that the compound? That's the huge compound that they built out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah, okay.
And it was just like, wow, they're all the way out in Texas? I thought they were in Utah now.
It just seems like at a certain point, the money's exchanging wrong hands. I think if it's exchanging right hands, you get to go as far as you want to go. It's just like, at a certain point, just probably just not greasing the right palms.
Money solves every problem.
Yeah, it's just like not greasing the right palms. So my absolute favorite joke of yours is the one about was it the skylight in the trailer?
Yeah.
And that one killed me. I literally tell everyone that joke. I butcher it, but at least it's being told.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a true story.
Yeah, okay.
I live in a trailer.
Yeah.
And they got really low roofs, and no support beams, and it makes it almost impossible to hang yourself in there. So,
so there's zero chance of us catching you. What is it? I can't think of his name. He did the movie with Kill Bill, or he did the movie Kill Bill. He was Bill. I can't think of his name. But anyways, yeah.
Is Bill? Are you talking about? Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, Bill. He's the one who killed himself while autorado.
Oh, right, yeah, the autorado. What's his name? Shit.
I can't think of it right now, man. But yeah, so...
David Carradine.
David Carradine. Like, he was... I think he was like the Kung Fu guy.
Yeah.
He did a Kung Fu,
Kill Bill.
Kill Bill, yeah. He was...
Yeah, he ended up...
Hey, everybody, this is Elias from the Monkey Mouth Podcast and SUYL. I just wanted to, give y'all guys a little bit of information about one of our first sponsors. His name's The Yard Guy. So The Yard Guy is going to make that yard drip-tastic. He's going to make you the envy of the neighborhood. I want y'all guys to give my boy Christopher a call. He's going to make sure that your yard is the envy of the neighborhood. So I want y'all guys to make sure you get this number. The number is 737-306-8311. The Yard Guy's Angie certified. He's duck approved. And I'm going to let you know that he will beat any quote. If you guys want to be the envy of every Taylor yard, make sure you get in touch with the Yard Guy. The Yard Guy's Gmail account is theyardguy8311@gmail. My boy is going to make your yard look amazing with amazing equipment, great prices, and duck approved. So make sure you make that yard drip-tastic. Make sure you get your yard looking fresh and become the envy of the neighborhood with a duck approved business right here. He's tailor-made, and I'm letting you know right now, he's the guy to look for when you want your yard done. So that was the Yard Guy. The Yard Guy is going to make sure that you are set up with an amazing looking yard. So let's get in touch with Christopher at 737-306-8311. That was the Yard Guy. That Gmail was the Yard Guy 8311@gmail. This man is Angie certified and will beat any quote. Now back to SUYL.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that they say, it was tragic suicide.
I don't think.
I think they're hiding the fact that a lot of people are just trying to drink.
Have you ever seen The World's Greatest Dad?
No.
Do you watch a lot of movies? Like
not a lot.
Yeah, I lived I wanted to be a film editor, so I watched there for a while. Man, that's all I ever did was just watch movies. One of my absolute favorite movies is There Will Be Blood, but there's a movie called The World's Greatest Dad, and it's just this 16-year-old piece of shit who's just an asshole to everybody, and he ends up autoerotic asphyxiating himself. And so the dad takes the belt off of his neck. It's Robin Williams' last movie before he passed away, and he takes the belt off of his neck. I think he writes a suicide note, puts him in the bed, or puts him stages the suicide.
And this is Robin Williams?
Yeah, this is Robin Williams. This is Robin Williams, the dad. Yeah.
Hangs himself.
No, the kid hangs himself.
Oh, okay.
He's a real piece of shit. He's an asshole to everybody. And so Robin Williams comes in and he sees his son, and he's literally pants around the ankles, hung up on his
pulls his
pants up. Yeah,
he tries to hide the fact.
Yeah, and then he
trying to jerk off.
Yeah,
he just was he was sad and he killed himself.
Yeah, exactly. And then
that was my theory about Robin Williams. Honestly,
Robin Williams was I think he had a form of MS because he was really.
I don't know.
Who knows, man?
You think he wasn't just trying to?
Just get one in. Just get one in.
Somebody was like, "Hey,
just
man,
get one in.
Let's not let him go out like that.
Pull the pants
up, and
oh man."
Do you think that's a possibility?
Probably not. I don't think that there was anything saying he did that, but I mean, maybe.
Well, no, there's nothing saying it because whoever found him was like, "No, we can't let Robin Williams go out like that."
I think Robin Williams, old 80s Robin Williams, probably would have loved to go out like that. Coked out Robin Williams pre-Disney would have loved to have gone out like that.
I don't know who would love to go out like that.
I'm talking about just people writing about that.
As
I think
a joke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Robin Williams.
Hey, man.
Yeah, I can't think of. I always forget his name. He's he's one of the OGs of like disruptive comedy, and they ended up like he ended up getting a hot shot of like really bad heroin, and they like the NYPD like pulled his pants down, like shoved the needle back in his arm, and like did a complete smear campaign on him.
Who was that?
Oh God, I can't think of his name, but I have one of his records. He's like he's a old school cat. This was like pre I can't think of anybody's names tonight. I can't. I'm gonna think of his name, but he basically got into a lot of trouble. Like every night there would literally be cops waiting for him outside of the like waiting for
wherever
him.
He was performing.
Yeah, wherever he was performing.
Oh, is this like one of the original guys? He's on that.
The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah, man. What's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of it, but it's on the tip of my tongue. But yeah.
Yeah, he was like constantly
getting arrested and getting in trouble for everything he was saying.
He'd literally be cops waiting for him outside. Just, oh man, I have what is it called? Lenny Bruce, that's his name.
That's it.
Yeah, I have a toxic relationship with the girl that lives in the speaker. She's always just interrupting the podcast at the worst time. So yeah, Lenny Bruce was like the OG, like
right. He was always getting arrested.
Yeah, he'd get arrested, and then so he ended up getting a hot shot. Like he was shooting up in his restroom, and the cops literally like pulled his pants down and like took really obscene pictures, let it go out to like the Times.
Get him dirty, huh?
Oh, just horrible. But I mean, he was literally like disrupting the society at every point he could. You know, he was talking. I mean, he was using old school slurs that don't even exist anymore, you know. Right. So it's just like, and if you listen to those records, man, they translate in this really strange like language that you don't quite get.
Yeah, well, they're not quite funny anymore.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean, you can see at the time when things were so like everyone was all buttoned down.
Exactly.
Like, you
it's
can't
like
say those things. And he was like on the edge and on the cusp of just like.
It's like when your dad thinks Kiss is edgy.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, like literally. I mean, Marilyn Manson came out and Ghost is out, and there's a bunch of metal bands that literally like do horrible shit. Yeah, Gwar exists as a thing that's in the.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's just like
growing up Mormon, dude. My parents were not appreciative of very much music.
Yeah, I don't blame them, man. Like,
it was weird though, because my dad, he was like actually a rocker.
Yeah,
he was a drummer in a band, and he was in that band until I think they had their third kid.
Yeah,
and then he's like, all right, they're about to go on tour, and he's like, I can't go on tour.
He's like,
But yeah, my dad didn't grow up Mormon. My mom did.
It's literally the Pulp Fiction thing. Like, I'm not a vegetarian, but my girlfriend is, so I don't get to have hamburgers anymore.
Not exactly. My dad did fully convert.
Yeah.
But he was also just kind of like both my parents grew up in Southern California, in LA, in the 60s, and it's like, you know.
Yeah.
And my mom was totally Mormon, so she was a good girl. And my dad was not, so, you know,
she saved him.
He was a surfer, partier guy, and growing up in the 60s and a teenager, so, you know. But then when they met, and, I
grew up in the Catholic Church, so that was my thing. Like, I grew up, like, from baptism, confirmation, everything but priesthood, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like, and then, I guess I was like practically Irish because when I was like a young kid, I wanted to become a cop. So the Mexicans and the Irish have that.
Makes you Irish.
Yeah. Well, the Mexicans and the Irish are pretty much interchangeable. You know, they're just like they're practically the same thing.
Almost the same with Mormons and Mexicans.
Yeah, they're pretty much. Yeah, lots of kids. Yeah, you know, only hang out with the other people in their. You know,
huge families. Cousins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I got 8 brothers and 2 sisters, man.
Jeez,
11 kids, man.
That's wild. Yeah. So who are you? The oldest or the?
I'm number 5. I'm right in the middle.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So they just like.
Yeah, they were just having kids.
Yeah,
like,
there's a great meme out there where it's just like grandma saying all you kids think about is sex, and there's like 10 kids standing in a line, you know. But it is what it is, man. I mean, like. It's Doug Stanhope. It's fun for poor people, you know. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly what it is.
You know.
You don't got a TV.
What else are you gonna do? Yeah. So I mean, you gotta keep that Mormon faith strong. You gotta keep the numbers growing.
Right. That's part of their whole plan of like keeping the membership going.
Exactly. I think so. I mean, that's exactly what that's what Catholicism is. Right. Like that's the reason. What is her name? Is it? She was everyone thought she was really great, but Mother Teresa. Yeah, she'd be like yeeting condoms away from people so that and systematically spreading AIDS at the same time, being like,
oh, that's nice.
Have those babies.
I never knew about that.
Oh yeah, like because she didn't believe in contraceptives, so like. So like, sense. Sex without contraceptives is gonna cause a spike in sexually transmitted diseases.
Is that how that works?
I don't know. I never went to sex ed. I never went to sex ed, so no. We'll figure it out. Not together.
That can't be how it works. Because I haven't been using condoms for a long time.
It's just like I got this like weird mark on my cheek, and it really hurts. Yeah, I'm not calling it like I'm not saying it's monkeypox, but I'm not saying it's monkeypox. But so we man, we're definitely excited to get out there to the hookah lounge, man, because we got to meet some really great comedians out there. I think that y'all guys are all doing great things, man. It's a lot of fun. It's harder for me now because this is definitely one of those things that I try and get in as much as possible, but I got a new timetable I got to stick with. So we appreciate you coming out. One thing I like to ask people is like what they think about the studio, which you did a podcast, but you didn't have to go in studio. So what do you think about the studio here?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice, man. Fucking like the artwork.
Yeah, my sister made that in one day.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And the story I like to tell people is like, she was like, is there anything you want me to write on there? Is there anything that's like important to you? And I was like, yeah, them Portal Boys. And she was like, that's stupid. And I was like, clearly you don't listen to the podcast because that's literally what Josh says every intro, them Portal Boys be podcasting. And she busted out laughing and she goes, well, I guess I don't. So,
yeah, man, I love Rick and Morty. That's
dude, cool. Yeah, that one right there, that was actually a gift from my nephew because I was, have you ever seen I think it's called The Vitch? Okay, there's this goat called Black Phillip, and it absolutely terrified me.
Black Phillip?
Yeah. And
when did this thing come out?
Early 2019, maybe 2017. It's like, you know who Anna Taylor-Joy is? You ever watch that chess movie, The Queen's Gambit?
Yeah.
It's her. And she's like probably like 18, maybe 17, 18.
Okay.
And there's this goat called Black Phillip, and it's talking to the two kids. And so the two kids tell the dad, the goat whispers in our ears at night. And it's like, just a fuck.
You said Black Phillip, and I was thinking of Patrice O'Neal.
Oh, Patrice O'Neal, yeah. Black Phillip, yeah. He did it, that was, talk about, okay.
I mean, that's a radio show, but it's basically like one of the first podcasts.
Well, can you imagine, okay, so Andrew Tate was nuked, and god damn it, I bring him up again. Fuck Andrew Tate. But he was like nuked. He's an asshole, but like he's in the zeitgeist. He basically is the new voice for the incels. He's the new voice for like MGTOW incels, guys who can't get laid. He basically says women are property. He's been nuked off of Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. He's this bald like half black, half white guy who's like just he's a mixed martial artist, but he basically goes on tirades about how women ain't shit. And he just got nuked off of every platform. But when I think of like what Patrice O'Neal was saying, like he would not have been able to exist in this timeline. Like Patrice O'Neal was basically he was cut from a different cloth. Like he was not made for this. He
definitely would have adapted.
You think so? I don't think
he would have adapted. He totally would have been able to exist. He'd be the fucking hottest comic alive if he still was alive. He'd be bigger than Chappelle, man.
He was hilarious, man.
Patrice would be bigger than Chappelle if he was alive.
Yeah, I mean,
the whole show that he is, Black Phillip, on YouTube. Like, I mean, I have to listen to it on YouTube.
Yeah. But the thing about it is that's one thing that's not caught up in the algorithm and constantly being put out.
Right.
Like, so,
but I mean, the thing about it is too, when you're listening to it, it is like, holy shit, dude! I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Oh, and that was on radio. I mean, that was on. I think it stayed on Sirius for a little.
What's crazy about the whole fucking thing is that like he makes really valid points that are like actually
Well, he's one of those that didn't shy away from saying, I'm an ugly fuck with a beautiful wife, and this is X, Y, and Z.
And this is how I did it.
Yeah, this is how I did it.
This is how I do it, and this is how you control women, basically.
Yeah.
He was like basically giving advice to manipulate women.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, well, I mean, it works.
I mean, it's not. I mean, the thing is like I said,
it works for some of them, you know.
Yeah,
like
it's one of those
depends on the
things.
woman you want to get.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's
really the woman you want to get.
And I think that's what it comes. And I think that's what it comes down
and
to.
You guys gotta keep in mind, he's a comedian. He's just fucking joking around.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing,
it's like they're jokes, but you know, a lot of jokes have some truth to them.
Well, the thing is like, if you like, the only person I can think is probably 90% himself is maybe Doug Stanhope. Everyone else is putting on an act.
Sure.
Like Doug Stanhope is Doug Stanhope.
Yeah.
You know, he's the only one who I legit probably think is like, if you meet Doug Stanhope, he's the same weird.
Same as you saw him on
stage. He's the same weird cat on stage that he is off stage. But Patrice O'Neal knew what to say. He was doing a radio show, and like you said, he can adapt.
Yeah.
You know, Doug Stanhope has 1,700 people who follow him around Bixby, Arizona, and love him. You know, it's like he's not gonna adapt. Like he's gonna be Doug Stanhope on a Monday. He's gonna be Doug Stanhope on a Sunday. So like, but these other guys, like, you know, they're selling a product. You know, like Dane Cook couldn't have been Sufa and still done Good Luck Chuck.
Right.
He adapted. He changed. He brought it down. You know, that's what these guys do. You know, and they're just able to do it because it's what they have to do to maintain, you know, sales and be able to be sponsored by Pepsi. You know, and
you gotta adapt.
And that's what everybody wants, man. They all want to be.
But I think Patrice would have been huge.
You think so?
If he was still alive, he would be huge. Not just fat, just
not Ralphie May huge, but just like huge. Yeah,
he's still comedic genius
to
this day. I think he was that funny and that like prolific.
So man, I appreciate you coming out. Thank you for putting up with my talking out of my asshole about the FLDS, man. Thank you for doing my show. I hope to have you on again. I hope to have you back out to do another SUYL. Can we get your name again and where to catch you?
Yeah, Jesse Paul, Mr. Mello on Instagram. And
are you gonna be doing any more dates or any more shows? Because I know you were saying that you're. You know,
I don't do a whole lot of comedy shows because I got a real job. But you know, Friday night in San Antonio at the Reggae Bar, and then Saturday night on. I'm in Dallas at Hyenas.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, yeah. Are you excited for the new Rogan setup? Are you going to go check that out when it's all said and done?
Oh, yeah. The new spot that he's opening.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait, man.
I'm excited for it, man.
It'll
I think
be
it's going to be awesome. It's definitely going to...
Has he talked about it at all? Is it...
I just know it's in the works. I know he bought like an old theater. He's working it out. He's got.
Yeah, I don't know any details about it, but I just keep hearing about, you know, they're going to be opening it up soon.
Yeah, soon.
For the last year and a half, soon. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
I can't wait, man. I love living in Austin with all the explosion of comedy going on.
I feel like I'm one step closer to meeting Duncan Trussell just by being in the
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of in the vicinity.
Yeah, so
just
like
start going out to the shows. And
yeah,
I'm sure you'll meet him.
Yeah, like Duncan Trussell's basically one of the white whales for me.
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah. Me and Josh kind of have this one thing. Like he actually lives in the out of the Matrix. So like him saying that, like him listening to like Duncan Trussell is basically like you know, two people out of the Matrix chatting with each other.
Right.
Me meeting him is basically like just dipping a toe out of the Matrix, and like, you know, like we were even joking around. I don't know if you remember the Cypher scene when he's eating the steak and like talking about how he wants to be famous, and he's like eating the steak and talking about how, you know, this steak isn't real, but I can taste it and I can smell the wine.
Who's saying that?
Cypher, I think, is from the Matrix. Is saying it, and so me and him were joking.
I watched that movie 20 years ago.
I that stuff stays in my head. Like I know every Simpsons episode from the opening credit.
I do know a lot of Simpsons episodes.
Yeah, like I can watch the opening credit of a Simpsons episode and the couch gag,
exactly
and I'll know what. Up to about season 10.
Yeah.
Or maybe season 9. After like season 9, after the what is it called? The Skinner, Armin Tamzarian era, where it just kind of like went downhill. That's probably like where.
Is that when it started going downhill?
Well, that was when a lot of the guys left. So Armin Tamzarian is what they call like the
That's
jerk.
where Skinner is actually nuts.
Yeah, and they call that the beginning of the jerk ass Homer. So there's like Homer, who was well intentioned, and kind of always like reverted back to being the family man. And then there was jerk-ass Homer after the Armin Tamzarian, who he just seemed more mean-spirited.
Became more like Peter Griffin.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly. And they were having to keep up with... And it became, like, non-linear, single stories, you know. And so that was... that. Family Guy kind of killed the progress.
I can't remember when I actually stopped watching The Simpsons, but...
So I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons, which is kind of funny. You know, I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons, and I remember I was in CCD. So CCD was... basically, like, you know, it was a Wednesday class where you talked about church.
Yeah, it's
and
like
we
Bible
did it.
Study class.
Yeah, exactly. And so we used to do lock-ins every other Saturday or Sunday. And so I'm there, and I'm like, hey, you know, it's 9:30. Can I watch TV in the like commons area? And they were like, yeah. And so I put it on The Simpsons. I'm like my mom gets like a phone call. And it's like, do you know your son's watching The Simpsons? How do you allow him to do that? Come and pick him up. And I'm like, did I do something wrong? And they were like,
that's so funny. Yeah. Like The Simpsons were not allowed on at my house. We only had one TV in the living room. Like we didn't
watch the
TVs
Waltons
everywhere. You know, and we didn't even have regular cable.
Yeah.
Like, just basic cable. And my dad was the one that was like, no Simpsons allowed, because you know they make the dad look like a buffoon.
Yeah.
And he's got 9 boys and 2 little girls.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not gonna have some show on in my house that's gonna make the dad look like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, but all TV does that.
So there's no. Well, now all TV does that.
Yeah.
But yeah, during that time, it was like my dad's just like, no,
you
guys are not allowed to watch The Simpsons, and it was my mom's favorite show.
Oh wow.
And like, you know, my mom, she's the good Mormon. She's been Mormon since she's a kid. She's like, you know, pretty obedient, I guess, to my dad, or you know, respects the rules of the house. But she loved The Simpsons. It was her favorite show. So my dad would be at work, and we'd be watching The Simpsons, and then it would, like, hear the car door slam, and she'd be like, oh, change it! And it's like, that was the only thing my mom was ever, like, kind of, like, against my dad. I was like, no, I like The Simpsons. So
dude, I love that.
We'd secretly watch The Simpsons with my mom.
You know what, man? If you're gonna dip your toes in Vice, let it be The Simpsons, right? I mean, so great, man.
If you got one Vice since The Simpsons.
Yeah. I'm pretty
sure Mama's going to heaven.
I'm sure she's
I'm pretty sure.
Whatever ethereal realm she wants to go to, I'm sure she's plenty welcome from watching The Simpsons.
That's the only time she ever was like, you know, in a disagreement with my dad.
I don't, man. Like I said. So, anyways, we were joking around doing the whole steak scene because I got my I got like my 35th coming up, so I'm like joking around about doing the steak scene for that. But I appreciate you coming through, man. Thank you for doing SUYL. It was great meeting you.
Yeah, man.
All right, appreciate it. Hope to have you back in, man.
Have a great time.